Happy Mindset Monday, everyone. This is Angela of Earrings by Angela, and I am here to start your work week on a good note. We're going to talk about um, remembering yourself, and that sounds like a weird title, but I got this topic from a quote that I read by Alice Walker, and it says, "It is important to remember yourself." And I think that is extremely monumental, especially in today's society, because sometimes we tend to put others before ourselves. And that is a sign of selflessness, yes. But in the mean and in between time, what is actually happening is we're forgetting that we are also important. You know, self care is very important. And that before we can help anyone else, we have to fill our cup, right? You know, when we fly and we're on the airplane, the flight attendant will tell us, during demonstration to if there's any turbulence going on and the mask falls, we are to cover our face first, put our mask on first, and then assist the person next to us, right? And so that is very important because if we are not seriously taking care of our needs, our desires, what we want in life, how can we pass that on to other people by helping them? You know, we have to experience it first and then offer a helping hand. So, what my question today is, how are you remembering yourself? How are you making the conscious effort to make sure that you're doing something for you? And so, I was talking with one of my clients earlier this month because the month is going by fast, you guys. But earlier this month, I was talking to one of my clients, and I said, "Well, what are you doing for yourself?" You know, we were working on the chakras. I said, "What are you doing to create balance in your life?" You know, we were discussing the root chakra, and she said, "Well, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this," and I said, "Well, wait a minute. There is one thing in that list that I did not hear. What are you doing for yourself?" I should have rephrased the question. What are you doing for yourself? And she said, "Well, what do you mean?" I said, "Well, what makes you happy?" And she said, "What makes her happy?" I said, "And none of that was part of your day. That's not part of the list that you told me. So let's work on that." And she says, "I really want to, but I don't know how." And how many times are we thinking to ourselves, "Oh, I really want to do this, but I don't have time," or "I don't see where I can fit this into my day because I have X, Y, and Z going on," you know? Well, the answer is to start with a question. And that sounds weird, right? But the answer is actually in the question. And the question that you would want to propose to yourself is, what do I want? I kid you not. I was on a trip last year, and it was during that time that I was reading Eat, Pray, Love by Elizabeth Gilbert. I'll put the link in the comment section because you got to read that book. It's amazing. I was reading it for the third time, and this is the question that Liz in the book asked herself. What do I want? Because after going through, and this is not a spoiler, it's just a sharing. It's just one nugget that I pulled from the book out of many nuggets that can be pulled from the book. But after so much um, turbulence in her life, you know, failed relationships, of all sorts, she finally had to get to the point where she asked her question, what do I want? And I remember sitting on the ship, because it was a cruise. I remember sitting on the ship and thinking, that is a fucking awesome question. What do I want? It sounds so simple, but once you dive deeper, it's like, damn, well, this is the first step into self-discovery. Hello, somebody. What do I want? So I remember looking out of the window and watching the water, and the waves. And I was like, damn, Angela, what do you want? And then guess what? I started writing down things that I wanted. Um, Things that I've been wanting to do that I've been putting off because I was, putting so much attention towards others' needs that I was, admittingly, neglecting my own. And when you neglect your own needs, it creates chaos in your life because you feel unbalanced and you feel like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm not getting what I want, or I don't feel I'm, achieving what I deserve. So it starts with that simple question, what do I want? And after I made that list, and then I also shared that with, my client, when she came back to me, she said, that lesson that you gave was so simple, but it sparked something in me. And I started to reevaluate what was going on in my life. And I started making time. And so the first question was, what do I want? The second question that usually follows automatically is, well, how do I make time for this? You know, or um, instead of saying I have no time, is how do I make time? And that causes you to shift your thinking. And I said, dang, this is so deep. I got to share this with my audience because it is so empowering. You feel like, wow, why didn't I do this a long time ago? And it can be small things, just, oh, I'm just going to take Sunday and just not make any plans and see how the day flows. I'm just going to relax. I'm going to take that time to myself and read that book, you know? And most recently, I just did that after 2 weeks of, a lot of busy running around and all this in preparation for parties and visiting relatives and entertaining and all that. I said, woosah. I'm gonna take this Sunday and just chill, and that's what I did. I visited family a little bit, but I had no plans. I just went with the flow. Let's just follow the energy. I just went with the flow. But what happened within that 24 hours um is that I finished reading 2 books that I had started from the previous day. So within 24 hours, I read 2 books. Whereas, I would usually allow small pockets of time. But I said, what do I want to do? Not what is someone else's agenda for me today, but what is it that I want to do? And the second follow up was, how do I make the time for it? And I did that consciously by saying, today, I'm just going to go with the flow. And guess what? I did. And 24 hours later, I completed what I wanted to do. And now I'm ready to serve. So what is, one way that you can remember yourself this week? I would love for you to share that in the comments with us and let us know how it went. So your actionable step for this video, because I always have to give homework or something, leave you with an activity or something to think about. Get a piece of paper, right at the top. What do I want? in all caps because you mean it. It's an attention thing. I mean, you're grabbing attention to your thoughts and saying, what do I want? So I want that in all caps. And then I want you to write a list of 10 things that you want to do for yourself. That no one else can take that time away from you. No one else can tell you, what you should be doing. You are with self. You are in the moment. What do you want to do? And after you write those 10 under there, write in all caps, how can I make this happen? And start adjusting things. And watch and see that your world is going to open up. The chaos isn't so chaotic, and you're finding that little glimpse of balance. And what will happen if you continue to do that? Continue to ask yourself that question and then take the action to make it happen. How would your world open up? That's a nugget, right? That's something to think about. And that's why we call this Mindset Monday. So listen, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you never miss an episode of Mindset Monday. And share and like this video with your friends. And don't forget, chime in the comments. Make it happen, you guys. So have a wonderful week. And thank you for tuning in to this episode. And I will talk to you next week.